Welcome back. Recipe vlogging. I'm Clarissa. Introductions done. So I'm out and about on this absolutely gorgeous Saturday. I mean, it's hot and I don't like the heat and I'm ready for fall, but it's absolutely gorgeous today. It's a beautiful day. And I really need to be at home doing laundry and straightening up the house. But it's kind of hard to be inside on a gorgeous day like this. But I did have to get out this morning and drive about an hour to that cute little store that I told y'all about on my birthday vlog that I went to. I went to their Christmas in July sale. Well, I found another couple of things on their Facebook page that I wanted, so I called and purchased them, and so she held them for me. And I don't think they like to hold things for very long because they don't have a lot of space. So that was like on Tuesday, maybe? Tuesday or Wednesday. So I told her I'd come down on Saturday to pick it up, because then it'd be a whole nother week before I could get back down here. And I have to go to work for a little bit today. Got to finish some things up that I didn't finish on Thursday. And I would have finished on Thursday, but I had a funeral to go to, and it ended up being a 2-hour funeral. It was good though. And so I was gone from work for a few hours and I didn't get finished doing the things that I need to finish for Sunday. So I gotta go by work, and I've got so much laundry to do. It's unreal. And I've got to wash all the sheets today, and it's just, I need to be at so many places at once. So I really didn't have time to drive an hour away to go antiquing. But Lord, this traffic is crazy for a Saturday. But I had to come pick that up. And what's funny is, of course, I did shop a little while I was there, and I did get some video inside the store. So I'll put that on here for you guys. It's just the cutest store. I just love it. It's got a little bit of newer decor, repurposed furniture. I didn't get a lot of those kind of shots where you could see the furniture, and they didn't have much today. Well, they did. It just had stuff on it. But I think I got close-up shots in each booth. But I did get some video for y'all, so y'all can see some of the cute things that they have. I forgot what I was saying. Oh, but while I was there, because I did shop a little bit and found a couple more things, I'll do a little haul for y'all too. Because I also need to do a little haul. It's just 2 things from last weekend's antiquing trip that me and my cousin went on. But anyway, get to the point, Clarissa. Get to the point. While I was there, my friend Morgan was there. And what's funny is we both live in the same town, and we both drove an hour to get down here, and neither one of us knew that the other was coming. But she had a friend with her, and she had her baby and then her friend's 2 kids, and she was picking up furniture, and she was in a truck, so their car was full. I couldn't have fit in there. I'd have had to ride in the back with the furniture in the bed of the truck. But it was just funny that we both drove an hour down here. So we're gonna make a day and go antiquing together, because her friend loves to antique and pick and all that kind of stuff. So, but it was just funny. But while we were there, she was telling me they were going to another store in that same town that she had heard about. And even though I didn't have the time, I couldn't resist not going, especially to a store I've never been to. So I went down to that store. It's called Off the Beaten Path, also in McCalla. And Junie B's is the store that I went to, my favorite little store. But it's called Off the Beaten Path. And it was bigger than Junie B's, but not much. And it had different booths. People had their booths set up in there. And it was also a mixture of new and old, vintage. But it was a neat little store too. I will definitely visit it again anytime I go back to Junie B's, because it's just about 10 minutes apart from each other. So I went in there. I did not buy anything in that store. So now I'm on my way home. You may see me eating on a French fry. I stopped at Burger King. It was either Burger King or McDonald's on that exit. I really would have liked a Chick-fil-A, but they didn't have one. So I chose Burger King because I have not eaten Burger King in forever. And I got a chicken sandwich and some fries. But the fries were so incredibly hot, I could not eat them. And I usually eat my fries first and then my sandwich. But I couldn't do that this time. So I still have some fries that I'm munching on. On the way down here, the way that I get here, I have to go through the town that I grew up in. And it's always nice driving through there, even though it's getting kind of run down and in parts of it, not all of it, but so I was driving on the road that my high school is on, and I saw on one side of the road, it's a 4-lane road, and on the other side of the road there was a bunch of people walking, and I could tell they had a sign. And I was thinking, oh Lord, it's a march. What are we protesting? What are we marching for? But when I saw the sign, it was they were doing a prayer walk for the schools, which a lot of people are doing that this weekend. The church that I work for, tomorrow they're having their annual back to school prayer for students, where they pray for all the kids going back to school. And then the different local schools are also having tomorrow afternoon. People will meet at each school and gather to pray for the schools, which is so good, because Lord knows our students, our kids need all the prayers they can get. They are definitely growing up in a different time than we did. I mean, we had problems, don't get me wrong, and we had some big problems and big issues, but it is nothing compared to what these kids are facing today. It's just unreal. But anyway, all of that's happening this weekend, all the back to school prayers, because our schools start next week. So Garrett starts high school on Wednesday. I'm not ready. 2 more years he'll be driving. I'm not ready for that. Time has just flown. Oh, can y'all tell? I'm using my new phone holder for my car. Finally. I got it all put together and it's up. It may be a little shaky. I need to work with it a little bit. I don't think my phone is very tight in that space. It looks a little crooked. But anyway, Hey, so now I can vlog while I drive. It makes it so much easier. You don't have to hold the phone. So back to antiquing. You know, last weekend I went to Huntsville, Alabama with my cousin. It's just about an hour and a half from where I live. And we went antiquing up there. I had 4 stores down that I wanted to visit, and we were only able to get 3 because 2 of them were so big it took us a couple of hours to go through each one of them. But if you're ever in Huntsville and you want to go antique, go to Floosy Lucy. That's a small store, but it has a lot of old, unique items to look at. It's a very, very neat store. Very nostalgic. Floosy Lucy. And then the other 2 were more like antique malls where different booths, people had their own booths. But a lot of good antiques, or a lot of good vintage stuff. One was called Packard's Antiques, and the other was Firehouse Antiques. That was a neat store because they had some really old fire engines outside the store. I took a picture of one of them, I think, and I didn't do any vlogging on that trip, but we did take pictures, so I'll post some pictures at the end of this as well. So anyway, that's my 2 weekends of antiquing. And last night, a group of us from church went and saw the movie Sound of Freedom. So if you haven't seen Sound of Freedom yet, I urge you to go see it. For the type of movie it was very good, very well made, very appropriate for teenagers. You know, even teenagers need to see this movie because they're still at risk, especially girls, for getting kidnapped into trafficking. So it's a very good movie for bringing awareness to this horrible thing that's happening even in our country and other countries as well. But it was a very good movie. And like I said, if you're teenagers, it's PG-13, which for the content, but there was nothing graphic. Like I said, it was very, very well made. Jeez, rocks are hitting my window. There was probably only 2-3 cuss words in the whole movie. So it wasn't bad on that end at all. And like I said, very appropriate if you want to take your teenagers, if they're, aware of human trafficking and child trafficking. It's a very good movie to bring awareness to the situation. It's very, very eye-opening. Sorry, if it's a lot of noise, this part of the highway, the interstate, is very, very rough. Oh no, and y'all fell. That's how rough this road is. Hold on. Okay, maybe y'all won't fall again. Okay, y'all did. Okay, I think I'm past the worst of it. I'm so sorry about that. If that was noisy, I apologize. I wish they would fix these roads, but that's Alabama for you. Bad roads and potholes. But I love my state. I love living here. But anyway, I don't know what we were talking about. Oh, Sound of Freedom movie. Definitely go see it if you haven't yet. It's very, very good. group of us from church, we were all sitting around Thursday night. Our minister of music and his wife and daughter, they're leaving us. I'm so sad. And tomorrow's actually their last Sunday. So we had 2 different going away receptions for them this week. And Thursday night was just for the choir, just for us to spend some time with them. So we were all sitting around. Most people had left, and there was a few of us still sitting there. And we got to talking about that movie. So one of the ladies was like, hey, let's go see it. So we sat there and bought our tickets, and we went last night and saw it. So it was great spending some extra time with them. And the funeral that I mentioned earlier was actually for my former minister of music at the church where I grew up. I was at my home church for 40 years before we started going to our current church. And we've been there 5 years. So my former minister of music, he came to our church in 1990, and I was turning 12 years old. And he let me, I asked him, I was already in the youth choir, and me and another girl asked him, that was my age, asked him if we could be in his adult choir. And he wasn't sure at first, since we were so young, but he made us sing for him. We had to audition, and so he let us in the choir. So I was in his choir for 28 years, and he was at the church for 32 years. And the last couple of years, he got dementia, vascular dementia, and his mind just went really quick. And so he finally, a couple of years ago, it was 2018, I think, or 19, he officially retired from the church. And that's when his dementia started getting worse. And he passed away last week. He was very nationally known. He sang professionally in a group way back when. Oh, something major's going on. Oh, a wreck. Jesus, I hope nobody was hurt. Please touch them and help them. And he was also very well known in our Church of God denomination. So he was nationally known. Everybody knew Harold Hudson. Pretty much, if you were in the Church of God or anywhere, but really because of his group. But it was so sad that he passed away. Everybody just adored him. Aside from my grandfathers and my dad, who I think all hung the moon, Harold was probably the best man I have ever known. He was a people person. He loved people. He loved God above anything. And he loved the church. He loved his music and worship. He loved to worship God. And then after that, he was definitely a people person. I need to get over people. He would help anybody. He would give the shirt off his back. If you were associated with our church, and he made hospital visits. If you were in our church and you had a family, if you had a second cousin twice removed that was in the hospital having surgery, he was there. He was there for it all. Prayer warrior. He prayed for people. He was just an amazing man. To know him was definitely to love him. So that's why his funeral lasted 2 hours. Because we had a lot to share and to sing about for that man. But anyway, guys, I know I'm going to start rambling in a minute, and I think we recapped the past couple of weekends. I just got to get through this weekend of school shopping and laundry doing and straightening up the house, and got to get all that in the next couple of days. So, but don't go anywhere, because I've got a little mini haul for y'all coming up of some things that I found this weekend and last weekend. And I also went to Ulta last night. My sister had given me a gift card for Christmas, so I went to Ulta and spent that whole gift card. So I'll share that with y'all as well, so stay tuned. Let's do this haul really quick, because this video is already going to be long enough, and I don't want to keep y'all any longer than you want to be here. So, and you may notice I'm missing an earring. I got here to work, and I went inside, did some stuff, and I went to the bathroom, and I was washing my hands, and I noticed my earring was gone. But what's funny is I reached on the back of my earring, and the little back was still stuck to my ear. But I looked everywhere. I retraced my steps. I don't know where it fell out. So my cute little butterfly hoops, yeah, one's gone. But it's okay. It's not like I have 50,000 other pair of earrings that I could wear. And that's why I love $5 paparazzi jewelry, because if you lose one, you know. So last weekend, 3 different antique stores, and I come home with 2 items. It's just the way it goes sometimes. But, and they're kind of nostalgic items for me. I have been secretly collecting things from my childhood. Just things that I've missed. And I've really been, I'm an 80s girl all the way. And I've really been getting into the 80s vibe again. So I've been kind of collecting things from my childhood. And I've been looking, okay, when y'all were little, I don't know how old you are, but when I was little, every Christmas we would get the Sears wish book and the JCPenney Christmas catalog, and we would go in and circle, me and my sister, we would circle all the things that we wanted, and it was just so much fun. And so I had been on the lookout for an old Sears wish book from either 83, 84, or 85. That's the range that I was looking for, because that was all of my favorite stuff. So that first store, the one I told y'all about, Floosy Lucy, well, I walked in, and there was a JCPenney Christmas catalog from 1985. So I bought it, and y'all, it has been so much fun looking at all this stuff from 1985. The clothes, the toys, the accessories, the electronics. It's so funny, and it's just so fun revisiting the past. So I have been enjoying looking at this. I mean, look at that TV. Does that scream 80s or what? So that was one of my purchases. I didn't pay a lot for it, luckily. And the next thing I got, I am not an album collector. I don't buy albums. Now, I had albums when I was growing up. But then when I started getting into the late 80s, towards my teen years, I had more cassette tapes. And I had the cassette tape to this album, which I would get if I ever found. But I bought this album. It's Whitney Houston's, what do they call it? Debut self-titled album. That was her first one. And I had the cassette of that. And this one is in really good shape. So I got it. And now I do have, I'm going to put it with, I do have my original Michael Jackson Thriller album. Yes, I do. Mine that I had. So, and I think I have the 45 record, you know, the little 45 records to We Are the World. Wonder if that's worth money, but I don't care. I'm keeping it. So I'm going to put this with my Michael Jackson album, and that's just going to be a little collector's item for me. So those are the two things that I got last weekend. Now, when I went to Jeannie B's today to pick up, the first thing I got was this little bin. It says odds and ends, and it's just a little container. And what I'm going to use it for is I have a bowl. I don't have a junk drawer anymore. I used to in my old house. But I don't have what you call a junk drawer. But we have this big mixing bowl sitting on the counter next to the refrigerator where nobody can see it when you walk in. And it's just got miscellaneous stuff in it. It's got gum, peppermints, candy, some pens, a pair of scissors, just little odds and ends. And so I really wanted to do away with that bowl just so it wouldn't look junky sitting on my counter. So I saw this little thing, and I just thought that would be perfect to put those things in, and then it would be neat and cute sitting on the counter. So that's what I got that for. And then I also bought, I am not a seasonal decorator. Like, I'll decorate for Christmas, but I don't decorate my house for the other holidays. Not even like fall, Halloween, Easter, spring. I don't do that. My home decor is what you get, except at Christmas. However, I did see, and I do have a few little things that I will pull out. Like, I have some Eastery stuff, a few little things that I'll set out during those times. But I also found at Jeannie B's, if I can find the opening, this little blue pumpkin. I just loved it. And they had some more, and I'm thinking about next time I go back, getting the other two that they had. It's kind of got a cracked look to it. You can't really see the veining in it. But it matches my living room, and I have the perfect spot for it. So this will be my little fall decoration. And you may not even notice it. I may not even notice it because it matches my house so well. People may not even realize it's fall decoration. So that's what I went to pick up, those two items. And then while I was in there, I found, sorry, I'm trying to unwrap it as fast as possible. I got this little vase. It's kind of, you can't really tell, but it's got a greenish tint to it. And I may not keep these flowers in it, even though that does match my living room. I really just wanted the vase. And my friend who has that store that I've told y'all about, Two Teas in a Pod, she sells a lot of little flower picks and greenery. So I can find something else to put in here. Because I just don't know if I like those. But I got it for the vase. And the last thing I found, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. It's going to go in my kitchen. and I'm wanting to get a piece of furniture to replace my china cabinet, and I have some ideas for that. So once I do that, I'm probably going to put this on that cabinet. But I found this cute little pail, and I don't know, it just spoke to me when I saw it. I kept looking at it, and I picked it up and I put it down, but I kept going back to it. I couldn't take my eyes off it for some reason. So I just grabbed it. I thought it was cute. So like I said, not sure what's going to happen with this, but something will happen. So that's my little haul from antiquing. And then I'll share with you what I got from Ulta last night. Since I had a gift card, I got a couple of things I probably normally wouldn't have purchased. I got some Kenra volume hairspray. I was needing some more hairspray, so, and I've been wanting to try it, but I haven't wanted to spend the money on it. I use my Tresemme from Walmart, and it works fine. But I've been wanting to try this, so since I had a gift card, I went ahead and got some Kenra volume spray. And knowing my luck, it'll work great, and I'll love it, and I'll want to go buy some more. And I also got a thing of Ulta soap. I got the pink grapefruit. And again, I like Ulta's soaps, but they're like $7. And I'm not spending $7 on soap when I can even go to Bath and Body Works and get a bottle of soap for like $3.50. And then I can get them for $1 at Walmart. So, I'm not spending $7 on soap. Except when I have a gift card. So I had a gift card, and I really like the smell of this one, so I grabbed a bottle of it. And the last thing, I stocked up. Oh, no, wait. That's not the last thing. Next to last thing. I stocked up on my e.l.f. eyeshadow sticks. I love these things. I did use Clinique, and I think I love the e.l.f. so much better. The Cliniques are wider, and these are smaller, skinnier, and they're more easy to use. So Walmart has these, and they're about the same price anyway, but sometimes they're out of the colors that I like. So Ulta was in stock, so I went ahead and grabbed one of each color. So I don't even know if I'm going to read all these colors because I can't find them. Oh, this color is called Magnetic Pull. Not really sure why. And this is Rose Gold. And this one, oh, I grabbed a matte. They have matte and then non-matte. And I grabbed one, and I realized it was a matte. The matte. So I put it back. I only get these shiny containers. This one is my favorite. It is Copper Chic. And then Champagne Crystal. And then I like the Rose Gold. I don't know what the difference is in the matte. I'm fixing to open it and see. And I'm sorry, this haul is already 12 minutes. Y'all can just fast forward if you want to. Or if you don't, stay with me. Okay. It's a different, it has a different tip to it than the other, I think. I don't know. I'm going to have to check. I'm going to have to put this on and see what the difference is. It has a matte finish container, and the other ones have a shiny container. So I don't know. Now these have just some sparkle to them. So maybe that's the difference. I don't know, but I'll try it because I didn't know that I had grabbed one of those. So anyway, the last thing I got was It Cosmetics Superhero Mascara. This is by far my favorite mascara that I have tried. And I've tried a bunch because I have no lashes. Even with good mascara, they won't stay up because I have droopy eyelids. We've talked about this. And if you're new, just go back and check out some of my videos. I'm sure I've said it somewhere. But, you know, I'm not too picky about mascaras because they don't stay for me anyway. However, this stuff I love. And I will continue to use it. I usually get them in my Ipsy bags. I get the smaller ones. But since I had a gift card, I went ahead and got me a full-size tube of that. So, that's my Ulta haul. And I'm going to let y'all go. And I hope y'all enjoy the video of Jeannie B's. And I'll attach some pictures for y'all. And until next time, God bless you. And I hope y'all have a great week, great weekend, whenever you're watching this. I just hope God blesses you and your family. Remember, Jesus loves you. I love you. And I'll talk to y'all on the next video. Stay tuned for Jeannie B's. Bye, guys.
I wake up the same old way, grab my coffee cup and try to face the day. But I felt different, I must say. I feel like maybe heaven heard me when I prayed. Every night I asked for you to be kept safe in all you do, to point you toward my North Star. And now here you are, right here in my arms. And I'm so glad you're home. It's been too long, I know you know. When you were gone, I kept the fire burning strong. I sent up all the signals, hoping you would see, hoping you would come back home to me. Forgive me if I stare too much. I'm sorry, I can't help it. I'm filled with so much love to see you smiling in that chair, to know that for a while you're not going anywhere. Every night I asked for you to be kept safe in all you do, to point you toward my North Star. And now here you are, right here in my arms. And I'm so glad you're home. It's been too long, I know you know. When you were gone, I kept the fire burning strong. I sent up all the signals, hoping you would see, hoping you would come back home to me. And I'm so glad you're home. It's been too long, I know you know. When you were gone, I kept the fire burning strong. I sent up all the signals, hoping you would see, hoping you would come back